Hey, have you ever felt like you just one step away from success, but somehow you keep missing that mark? Maybe you find yourself getting close to reaching a goal, but then something unexpected happens and you find yourself falling behind. Whether we want to admit it or not, sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. Even when we have every intention of succeeding, there are some things we do that will hold us back. Before we begin, I want you to take a few moments to answer this question. How many hours a day do you study? Now compare your answer to this. The average student studies 1 to 3 hours per day. So if you study 4 to 6 hours a day, you may think you're already on your way to being a straight A student. But what if you're not? What if you're actually doing things that are holding you back and keeping you from achieving those good grades you want? We all know that studying hard is good, but are you secretly burning out? Let's find out. Welcome back to Brain Boost Lab. In today's video, we'll be talking about the common habits that cause students to burn out and how to break them. So let's get started. Know when you're constantly tired. Imagine waking up in the morning excited to start a new day. As you get ready for school, you're feeling energized and motivated. You put on your favorite outfit, grab your backpack, and head out the door with a smile on your face. When you arrive at school, you sit down in class and try to focus on the lesson. But no matter what your teacher says, you just can't seem to pay attention. Your eyelids are droopy, and before you know it, you fall asleep. After class, you go home and crash on your bed instead of doing your homework. You think to yourself, I'll just rest for a bit and then get up and finish it later. But that later never comes. You end up spending the entire day doing nothing, and it's too late when you finally realize you haven't done anything productive. You might be thinking this is just a one-time thing, but it becomes a daily occurrence. And you're starting to worry that you might be lazy or unmotivated. This is when you need to take a step back and evaluate whether you're redoing things that are causing you to burn out. If you can relate to this situation, it may be time to take a closer look at your habits and see if they're contributing to exhaustion. Being tired all the time can be a sign of burnout. It's essential to prioritize self-care and make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you get enough sleep, eat healthy foods, and take breaks when needed. Listen to your body and give it the time it needs to recharge so you can tackle your studies with fresh energy. Burnout can happen to anyone, so don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. By taking care of yourself, you'll be able to perform at your best academically and personally. So remember, rest is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. No. 2. You reread the same page 3 times and remember nothing. Can you remember the last time you were reading a book and had to reread the same page over and over again? At first, you read the page and don't understand what's going on, so you go back and reread it. But the second time around, you still don't understand. So you reread the page again, but no matter how many times you reread it, you just can't seem to grasp the material. You start to feel frustrated and overwhelmed, and you wonder if you're just not smart enough to understand this material. The truth is, rereading the same page over and over again is not an effective study strategy, and it can actually be a sign of burnout. Instead of trying to force yourself to understand the material, it's important to take a step back and assess why you're having trouble focusing. Are you bored with the material? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Or are you just not interested in the topic? Once you identify the problem, you can take steps to address it. For example, if you're bored with the material, try finding ways to make it more engaging for yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try breaking down the material into smaller chunks. And if you're not interested in the topic, try finding ways to connect it to something that you are interested in. Remember, it's okay to struggle with understanding material, but don't let it get you down. With some patience and persistence, you'll be able to understand it eventually. Number 3, small tasks feel overwhelming. Have you ever had a pile of laundry sitting in your hamper for days? Keep telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, but it seems to grow larger and larger. Suddenly it feels like such a daunting task that you just want to throw in the towel and give up. Before you know it, it's been weeks since you did any laundry and you're running out of clean clothes. It's a frustrating situation to be in, but it's not uncommon. Sometimes the smallest tasks can seem overwhelming, and that's exactly what burnout feels like. Burnout doesn't mean that you're lazy or unproductive. It's just a sign that you need to take a step back and reevaluate your priorities. In this case, you may need to break down your workload into smaller, more manageable chunks. For example, instead of trying to do all your laundry all at once, try setting aside 30 minutes each day to do a little bit. It may not be the most exciting thing to do, but by breaking it up into smaller chunks, you'll be able to make progress without feeling overwhelmed. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of seeing your hamper slowly get smaller. Burnout can sneak up on you and make you feel like you're not accomplishing anything. But by breaking down your work and celebrating small victories, you can stay on track and reduce feelings of burnout. No, for you feel guilty when resting. Did you know that feeling guilty about taking breaks can be a sign of burnout? When you're feeling burnt out, you may start to feel guilty when you take time for yourself. You might think that you should be working all the time in order to be successful, but that's not the case. Taking breaks and doing things you enjoy can actually be beneficial for your mental health and overall well-being. It's important to remember that you're not a machine. You need to take time to recharge and relax in order to function at your best. When you're feeling guilty about taking a break, try to remind yourself that you're not being lazy or unproductive. You're taking the time to do something that will benefit you in the long run. Guilt can be a powerful emotion, but don't let it stop you from taking the breaks you need. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's essential. Taking breaks allows you to come back to your work feeling refreshed and focused, which can lead to increased productivity and better performance. So next time you're feeling guilty about taking a break, remember that you're doing something positive for yourself, and that's not bad. And number 5, you've stopped enjoying learning. Imagine walking into a classroom and feeling excited to learn. Sit down at your desk, open your textbook and start reading. But as you continue to read, you start to feel a sense of dread. The words on the page become a blur and you can't seem to focus. You force yourself to keep reading, but it feels like a chore rather than a pleasure. This is a sign that you may be experiencing burnout. When you're burnt out, it can be difficult to find joy in things that you once loved doing. Learning should be an enjoyable experience, but it's easy to forget that when you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. It's important to take a step back and identify why you've stopped enjoying learning. Is the material too challenging? Are you feeling bored? Or is it just not interesting to you? Once you figure out the root of the problem, you can take steps to address it. If the material is too challenging, try breaking it down into smaller chunks or seeking help from your teacher or classmates. If you're feeling bored, try finding ways to make the material more engaging for yourself. And if it's just not interesting to you, try finding ways to connect it to something that you are interested in. Remember, learning should be fun. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. If you feel like you've lost the joy of learning, take a step back and reassess. You've got this. We hope you've enjoyed this video and encourage you to take action towards reducing your burnout symptoms. Studying hard is important, but taking care of yourself is just as crucial. By following the tips above, you can improve your mental health and academic performance. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and there's no shame in asking for help. Thank you for watching. Until next time, happy studying.